This is just a very quick video to hopefully get you started doing some more research on your depth study. So this is the second page of your book for your depth study. Now, the hypotheses really is a specific, an aim is really going to come from this general depth study inquiry question. And there's only needing to be, at the moment, let's just keep it nice and simple and make minor changes so that I know exactly what organism that you're going to use. And where it says so that's close to what your aim should be. What should your hypothesis be? Well, when it talks about to compare the adaptations and selective pressures of that and your organism, I need you to be specific about what adaptations and what selective pressures you're going to have a look at between the two organisms. Where should that come from and what adaptations are you doing? That is up here, question 1, 2, and 3. So this is the detail, aim, modify this to make a hypothesis, be specific on your adaptations that you're going to use and the selective pressures. To unpack that and what research are you going to do, here's the research. Your organism should be able to be compared quantitatively from the data that, very similar data that you got from the cane toad. So go and research your organism. And this is where it will, a year 11 research task will come in, depth study comes in, because it's not easy to find that information, lengths, heights, weights, on average that your organism is. So that then you can tabulate the data that you have from the cane toad and compare that to the gathered data from that organism. For the data, it doesn't cover all these adaptations. It really will only cover the structural adaptations. And how many should you do? Therefore, how many should be in your hypotheses? Well, seeing that it says adaptations, you at least need how many? You need 2. You can't have just 1. So, 2 adaptations that you found in this organism. Look at it. Find the data online, whether it's a length of a certain part of that organism, and then compare that to the lengths that you find in cane toad. Now, that cane toad data, you're going to be able to average out and do standard deviations for, etc. This one here, you're only going to be gathering one bit of data that you find, like the average length of this part of your organism is this. So that will just go in your table as well. And then you can look at usual statistical analysis between those two organisms. Don't forget, standard deviation and P&T tests would be appropriate if you get to that level. Now, how do you indicate physiological and behavioural adaptations? Well, unless you were very precise in what you took data on for your cane toad, these sets of adaptations here should come straight from research, not from the cane toad data that you got on that day when you cut it up. That, therefore, will indicate, what you're doing in your method. Because in your method, for the structural adaptations, you cut up a cane toad. For half of the structural adaptations, physiological and behavioural, you're getting that all from secondary sources and from research. Now, should that go in the method? Well, partially could, to indicate where you got them from and how you're getting reliable information from and what you chose to find and how you found it, because that's difficult. And then you, in your discussion, outline this and this. So how could you put physiological and behavioural adaptation data that you find online into a semblance of this area in your results section? Well, treat this and this data as qualitative data. And you can still tabulate qualitative data. It's wordy and paragraph within those tables, but it's still data. These structural adaptations, and the 2 or more that you might do to compare against that one and that one, you can definitely tabulate that and graph that. Can you graph physiological adaptations and behavioural adaptations? Well, it's going to be very difficult and tricky, so really I'm only expecting the graph to come from the structural adaptations. And again, the information for your organism, in terms of the numbers that you're getting, is the difficulty, and you will really have to search quite well to find that information. Okay, I hope that helps and gives you some guidance to get yourself started. And let me know how you go.